Darkness falls, and with it, the truth emerges. In a world where the line between fact and fear is blurred, beneath the surface of forgotten towns and restless graves, hide secrets soaked in blood and whispers that never die. From the chilling depths of true crime to the unexplained shadows of the paranormal, we dive into the stories that haunt both past and present. Welcome to Realm of Darkness.
Ooh, that intro is slick.
It looks good. It looks good. I'm so proud of you guys. I did giggle on the last frame. But
because of the first edition of that,
yeah. So welcome everyone. We are back after a week off. Did you miss us? No, we promised you guys we had a lot going on. I say we lightly. It's more Nate and Tom. They've been working on a lot of new things. Like we got the new intro that you guys just saw, editing, coloring, all the fun stuff. What do you guys been doing?
I can color in the lines, guys.
Yeah, I've worked really hard, and my books are looking much better now.
No, but I did. I laughed. So I'm going to rat you out a little bit.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So after Nate finished the new intro, he sent it to us and he's like, hey, check this out. Tell me what you guys think. And I loved it. Like the whole thing I was watching, I'm like, this is perfect. I love it. And then at the end, I noticed that instead of true crime, it said turd crime. So I messaged Nate and I was like, I love this. But what is turd crime?
Yeah.
He's like, what? I'm like, so I screenshot it and he's like, hold on. I told you, we're not changing anything else. We're keeping it. That's it. It's turd crime.
Yeah. I did change it though.
It's like super extreme crime. You know?
It make us look good.
Hey, maybe that could be our new hashtag.
Turd crime.
Turd crime. Anyway, the case tonight is a really interesting one. Yes. I think it's funny because Tom and I knew about the case, but Nate, you did not.
No, and it's very recent within the last couple of years. So for me to not have heard about it, I live under a rock apparently.
Yeah. And I watched it happen in real time, like when it was really going on.
Yeah.
I remember when it happened 3 years ago, and then the investigation, the trial just ended. And
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, the trial just happened like a few weeks ago. So he was, convicted, and then I think the gag order was lifted off of like the detectives and all of that. So a lot of new things are coming out. So now there's documentaries and shows and TikToks, and how you didn't hear about it, I have no idea.
I know.
It was such a big story too, especially when it happened. I remember where I was at work when it happened, and we were all just in there reading our phones, like, what is going on?
Yeah. And if you guys love the show, we are talking about the Idaho Murders, where the 4 students were brutally attacked in their house, and there were 2 surviving roommates. If you guys have not heard of it, you also live under a rock with Nate. But it is a very interesting case. It's really sad, and there's a lot of different dynamics to it. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but also I recommend watching the documentaries. They're on Hulu. Amazon has a really great one called One Night in Idaho, but it is really sad.
That one. I watched that one in like one sitting too. It's 4 episodes, an hour each. And actually, it was just funny this morning. I just sent you a link tomorrow night on, what is it, ABC? It's 2020. There's a 2-hour thing all about it's like a 2020 special. So
I thought it was but it's on Discovery, I think.
It's on Disney Plus and Hulu to stream too. So
okay.
Yeah, I
don't know if you guys saw this today, but they released like hundreds of photos.
Yeah. So that's the thing. This is firmly in the news now too, as we talk about it. So a lot of it's current stuff, what you're going to hear, and there's still going to be more and more things coming out even after this episode. So,
well, and even today, because of the research and the watching of the things, like there were things popping up on my phone and like notifications that I want to talk about tonight because some of them blew my mind. And a lot of people think that this was like a crime of passion, that he might have been interested in just one of the girls, but it was truly like there's things I'm learning today that shows how diabolical he truly is. So I don't know. I think we should like kind of dive into it and kind of talk about it like nobody knows what happened. But I do want to ask because Tom and I watched it over the last 3 years, but Nate, you being new to it, like what was your take on it now that you have all the information at once versus like kind of
bits and pieces? Yeah. I mean, I don't know per se, like this guy, Brian Kohlberger, he's the guy, after the fact, it didn't take him long either to really track this man down. It was really a matter of just over a month, like out of they arrested him January and this happened the end of November.
Yeah.
But like, one, how they tracked him down so quickly. Two, just it blows my mind, like the amount of work that went into it and like the amount of details that they weren't releasing. Now that you see everything and everything like that, but I mean, it was one of those ones where I'm like everybody worked together and figured it out pretty quickly, which I mean, there are other things that he did too that we'll get into that basically give him away, but
so
little mistakes. But
the base of the crime was there were 4 students that went to Idaho University that they lived in a house. Well, 3 of the victims were in the house. It was a group of girls. So there were 5 girls all together that lived in this house on King Street. And in November of 2022, they all had gone out. There was a big game. They had all went out, did their separate things, came home. And around 4-ish in the morning, we'll say 4-ish because they say it was about a 16-minute window when everything happened. There were 2 girls that were upstairs on the 3rd floor. There was a girl on the main floor and then a girl with her boyfriend on the main floor and then a girl in the basement, which I guess was ground level. Yeah.
It's a split level house. So there's like a 1st floor. You can get into the house through the basement level, but the main entrance, I think, was on the 1st floor from what I looked at. So
yeah, it was. And there was like a sliding glass door that you could come right into. So the 2 girls that were upstairs, their names were Maddie, Madison, and Kaylee. They were brutally stabbed to death. The girl and her boyfriend, Zaina and Ethan, were stabbed to death on the main floor. One of the surviving roommates named Dylan was on the main floor, and then there was a surviving roommate named Bethany on the ground floor. What was said is that there was a man who had come in, went straight upstairs, brutally murdered the 2 girls upstairs, both Kaylee and Maddie, and they were in the same room, and Kaylee's dog was in her bedroom, which we'll get into. He goes to the main floor and people think that one of those 2, that Maddie and Kaylee, were probably his target because there's speculation that Xana and her boyfriend Ethan were only murdered because Xana ran upstairs. She heard a bunch of commotion. She was up. Her phone records show that she was on TikTok, and she went out and someone heard her yell, "There's somebody in here." And then that's when he came downstairs, murdered her, brutally stabbed her, and she fought hard. All the records show that she fought so hard. She had over 50 stab wounds. Her hands were almost severed because she was trying to fight and protect herself. So
defensive wounds is what they called them. Because she was trying to like protect herself and stop it from happening. But
and then her boyfriend was in the room, who he also unfortunately was brutally stabbed to death, and then sat down, took a minute, and then left, all within 16 minutes. So I know a lot of the questions around the 2 surviving roommates, there's speculation that they had something to do with it. There's speculation that they were too drunk and they had no idea what was going on. There's rumors that maybe they helped. There's rumors that they were just scared. Like, there's so many different things. And there's also rumors that he was just so exhausted after killing 4 that he just gave up and walked out because he was wearing a mask. So that is the crime in a nutshell, just to get everybody caught up again, in case you are slightly living under a rock. But
yeah, I mean, it is so complex. So this all happened at 4 in the morning, between 4 and 4:20, we'll say.
Yeah.
The phone call to the police didn't happen until 12 o'clock the next afternoon. Like right at noon is when they called. Yeah. Now, like you said, there was one girl in the house on the second floor. Well, one on the second floor, where it was all happening. The one was in the basement. Bethany was in the second floor. What was the other girl's name on the second floor? Dylan. She's the one. So she's the one that heard all this stuff going on. She heard whimpering coming from Xana's room. She heard the dog barking like crazy. She looked into the hallway one time. She heard a man say, "It's going to be all right," or something along those lines. And then she closed her door multiple times, kept looking out. The last time she looks out, she sees a man with all black on, a black mask, basically covered his mouth and his forehead, so you could see his eyes and his eyebrows and all that stuff. He walked back past her. I'm assuming he didn't see her, didn't know she was there, or didn't care that she was there because he was after somebody else in the house, which is speculation because there's nothing official. But she sees him and he walks out the door, but she doesn't do anything in that moment.
No, what she does is and there is record of it. I actually, so you can read the police reports online now. You can read the statements. You can read pretty much any of the evidence, like the DNA that they ran off of the people. So you can see all that online now because the gag orders have been lifted.
Yeah.
She did text the girls. So she texted Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana and said, "What's going on? Are you okay? Are you awake? Answer me." So she did text them. When none of them replied, she then texted Bethany downstairs, went downstairs, told her what she saw, and said, "I'm scared. Let's just go to bed."
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. And this is where I'm going to be an a-hole. And I'm not accusing anybody. But I only say this because there were noises that were caught on their Ring doorbell as well as the neighbor's Ring doorbell, which means it was loud if the neighbor heard, if their doorbell caught it too. And it's barking and it's banging and it's screaming and it's all these god-awful noises. And Dylan herself, when she's talking to the cops, says the house has thin walls. You can hear everything. So you hear screaming, you hear crying, you hear whimpering, and then you see a man with a mask on. And your first thought is, I'm going to go sleep in my roommate's room and go to bed. You're not going to call the cops?
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning or not, drunk or not. Why were the cops not called at 4 o'clock or 4:20 or whenever she saw that man? Because if she would have called originally when she heard the screaming, which it was probably Kaylee or Maddie, Xana and Ethan could possibly still be here.
Or, honestly,
lock your door and call the police.
Yeah. The list of injuries, it's severe. Like the amount of wounds they all had, basically. So I don't know if, nothing could have been done about what was already going on, but if they would have got there quick enough.
Right.
Something might have been different, yeah.
The police station, I think they said, is 3 minutes from the house. It's 1 point some miles. So if she would have called when she initially heard the conversation, because she heard Kaylee say something and then a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." And she admitted that. So she would have called when she heard that. 3 minutes. There's going to be sirens. There's going to be something would have alerted him. He would have either taken off or he would have, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even if it wouldn't have saved any of them, you're talking about how many hours before you call the cops. And then to tell them that you saw nothing, that you just think somebody's unconscious. There was blood dripping on the outside No, yeah, they called for an unconscious person.
Now, so I took that one way. It was the one. So they called their friends to come over because things were weird and they weren't answering their phones and stuff like that. So one of the guys that came with another girl, I can't remember his name because there's so many names here. It's hard to keep track of everybody. But he goes up to check on them, and he tells the girls to get out of the house real quick. He didn't want them to see it. I think maybe he said this to try to keep them calm because he knew what happened. He definitely know.
Right.
But he wanted to not.
Which I understand.
I think that's why he said that on the phone. I mean, you don't really want to.
But as a roommate, you wake up, your roommates are still not awake, and you call somebody across the street to come over because you're still scared. Why, if you're that scared, why did you not call the police originally? Yeah. And two, you're not going to walk up and knock on their door and be like, hey, are you guys awake?
Yeah.
Something just, and I'm not accusing anything, but something just is fishy to me.
I mean, but you also have to keep in mind that everybody deals with trauma in different ways, regardless if they heard things or not,
True.
So you can be really scared, but you could also be really scared that if you call the cops, something could happen to you.
But if you're in your room with your door locked and you're scared that somebody's out there, you're not going to instantly call for help. If you see a man in your house with a mask on and you're that scared that you lock your door, you're not going to call someone for help, whether it's the police or whether it's the guy you called the next day.
Possibly not, because if you think about it this way, he could possibly hear you making that call.
Text.
I don't know about you, but I've never texted 911, so I don't know how quick that actually works.
You could not 911. You could text your friend. You could text your friend and say, "Hey, I just saw a man with a mask. I'm really scared. Can you call 911 for me, or can you come over, or can you stop?" But just to be like, "I'm just going to go to bed."
In the morning, how do you know anyone's awake?
Well, that's why you go knock on their door.
But if you're locked in your room, how are you knocking on their door?
You unlock the door.
If you think, but my point is, if you think there's someone out there, why would you leave to go knock on someone's door?
She watched him leave. She told the police she watched him leave.
That's true.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't think they had anything to do with it, and on the fact that they reacted in a poor way. Sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean, again, I said I'm not accusing. I just think that it's fishy to me because it's bizarre that you are that terrified and you're not going to call or text anybody for help. You would even think, even if you're that scared, like at least your parents, something if I am that nervous or that scared, my adrenaline alone would not let me go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but some people, are different because it's the fight or flight response. Like some people are gonna go, no, I'm just gonna ignore that.
Have you ever been in that situation?
Yes.
I mean, I have too, and I can tell you, I would have probably reacted the same way she did.
Oh, police.
Because not everybody, because you don't know. Like police, you call the police, that person, she might have seen him leave, but you call the police and he hears sirens, he could come back and kill you.
But that wouldn't be a normal behavior. Normally, and out of all the research I've done, the person who commits the crime, if the police are on the way, they don't want to be at the scene when the police show up, so they're going to run. They're not going to come back and be like, I got 3 minutes to slice and dice this chick, and then I'm out.
Sure. I mean, my point is he was so methodical in it that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But she did not know he was methodical at that point.
You didn't know. But again, you still don't know that he's maybe, you saw him walk out the door, but you don't know he's actually gone. What if he's coming back? Premises? What if he comes back? What if he was coming back?
But if you know that the police are if the police station's 3 minutes away, okay, so say he's outside, he hears you, he comes back in, your door's locked. He's gonna have to kick down the door. The cops, there's nothing. I just think the fact that this happened between 4 and 4:16, 4:20 when they saw the car driving away, and nobody contacted the police till noon. That right there is major red flag to me all day long.
Well, I guess I'd like to know how drunk they were. Because She was drunk. Like they said they were all drunk.
Okay, but she also, yes. So but if you're that drunk, are you going to be able to recall the events from the night before? Are you going to be able to say he had bushy eyebrows? He had he had an athletic build. He was tall. He had a mask on. You heard this. You're able to repeat the words that you heard. I'm sorry, but if I'm trashed,
I not remember anything. Yeah.
You're lucky I remember my name.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody's different.
Everybody's different. You actually are. Yes.
I mean, I don't
my
know.
college days. I put myself back into those college days.
They don't really say how drunk anyone was.
Facts.
You don't know.
But then explain to me when they're questioning them, one of the girls says, am I going to at least be able to go home for Thanksgiving? Like, your friends are just brutally murdered and you're worried about Thanksgiving?
So here's the thing.
And maybe it's a maturity thing. But
I mean, as far as we know, they were roommates, but that doesn't mean you're good friends with them.
Well, no, but if 4 people were just murdered in this, even if, like, hell, if we were at a hotel, like, investigating, and we found out 4 people were murdered, I'd be like, well, F&A, I'm not staying here again. Like, I would still be shaken knowing that 4 people just lost their life, let alone.
I guess my point would be, like, because of the traumatic event, maybe going home to see her family was her way of kind of dealing with it.
Right.
So I can see that point.
But would you not be like, are my friends okay?
Like I said, well, I mean, we don't know if they were friends.
Or are my roommates okay?
I mean, unfortunately, some people don't care about their roommates, and I can attest to this. When I went to college,
well, I mean, I still would. I could hate someone's guts and still be like, are they good? Like,
I mean, I like. We just didn't get along. So, like, if he had been murdered, hypothetically, I wouldn't have cared.
You would have cared about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you would have been worried about getting home, getting some mashed potatoes and stuffing. And all that.
Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, too, I want to bring up, too. When they were questioning the girls, one of the things I picked out from the documentary on Amazon, the cops weren't telling them anything either at the time. Nobody knew until they all got a text from the school that 4 people were murdered in this house. The people outside waiting that lived there didn't even know what was going on in the house. So I don't know if. Go ahead. Oh, go. Sorry.
No. So then here's my question for you. Do you think? Because I'm going to talk about the same documentary. Because now I'm going to play devil's advocate too. Mm-hmm. If they didn't know what happened and say they did believe their friend was unconscious, why are they sobbing outside? Literally, I mean, almost not being able to understand, sobbing. If you think your friend is just unconscious,
yeah.
You bring up a fair point.
So here's my thing.
If you think that they're okay and maybe they're just having a medical emergency, are you going to be that like ugly girl snot sobbing outside?
Have you ever been frustrated to the point where you're just pissed off and don't know what's going on? Yeah. I get a little aggravated. Sometimes I don't know if I'm going to cry.
I do get some teary-eyed.
Girls, I get a little frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Somebody tell me what's going on. And like, maybe I'm not going to get teary-eyed, but some people react that way when they're frustrated and angry and don't know what's going on. So that would be my counter to that, I guess.
And I could
frustration at that point.
I could see teary-eyed, but to the point of like that hardcore sobbing. You know what I mean? Like there's, and again, like I said in the beginning, I'm not accusing or making accusations. I just think the whole thing with those 2 is very, very odd. It's just very odd. I don't
disagree with you.
And that is
I don't disagree at all, but.
Right. And these 2 girls, and I told you guys before we went on air, and this is taking a left turn, or well, technically a left turn this way. You know, those 2 girls, they were getting death threats. They were getting accused of having something to do with it. They were accused of having involvement with Brian, all these things. But the thing that the thing that really pissed me off today is when I found out that Dylan, the one who saw him, has a freaking GoFundMe with a $30,000 goal to help her healing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Got that trauma going on.
Trauma is trauma. I get it. See a therapist. Okay, been there, done that. However, if you're gonna get like people are gonna see my true self today. Let's let it out. If you're gonna get $30,000, give it to the people that just buried their children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got a job that's probably gonna help with your therapist. Your parents will probably help. Give it to the people that just buried their babies. Like that's what. Nope.
So
I'm so mad about that situation.
I also want to bring up and backtrack just a little bit about the whole how did they not know that something happened? Like, if you look at the pictures, there's blood seeping out of the house and down the foundation.
The outside.
That's the outside of the house, and you can see it. Imagine what the inside must have looked like. And how you didn't know something happened.
Yeah.
It's beyond me.
And say the doors are shut, understandable. Maybe you don't see it because the doors are shut. But again, the screaming, the dog barking, the man in a mask would have done it for me.
That should have been. That should have been the first giveaway.
Right. Yeah. Like if all of that would have happened and she would have never seen him, okay, maybe you had a weird dream. Maybe you're imagining it. Maybe it's the TV, whatever. But you physically saw a man with a mask, dressed in black, leave your house.
Yep.
That's
100%.
Horror movie 101, But anyway, enough on those two. Yeah, but so Nate, you were talking about some of the ways that they were able to kind of hunt down who did it. And originally, the only piece of evidence they had was that sheath that they found. So that's aside from the wounds. They were able to tell what kind of knife it was, what size, all that stuff by the sheath that was found. And I believe it was under Maddie. And that was like the beginning of how they started tracking him down.
And this was all happening. Nobody knew about that. Like all these different things they were doing to try to track this guy down. Obviously, like the first thing they started doing is pulling cameras and stuff like that. The first thing that they actually made available to the public was this white Elantra that they saw drive by the house at least 4 times.
He knows I get worked up.
Between a certain time. Yeah, we all do, Ashley. What are you talking about? We all do.
I'm sassy.
But they put out this, to all these local law enforcement that, they're looking for this white Elantra between these certain years. And, they start, that's the first lead. Let's talk about like all the, Maddie and the other girl that was with her upstairs. Kaylee. They were out that night. This is where like the TikTokers and all that stuff come into play because like everybody is starting to throw all these things around. There's this poor guy. So the 2 girls, after they leave the bar, go to this food truck that live streams while like they're open. And like everybody's watching this video and they see this guy in a hoodie basically standing behind these girls, like talking to them, interacting with them. And right away, people were like, he did it. He's the guy right there. So like, it's just all these people that playing internet detectives are like ruining people because they're saying, like you said, they're saying, oh, the girls are involved. Like they did something. Obviously, you got to check into them. You got to check the neighbors. You got to do this. You got to check this guy with a hoodie.
The guy who technically, who the girls called to come over and kind of scope out the scene was Ethan's best friend.
Yeah.
And he was the one who he opened the door, he saw Zaina, and then he shut the door, and he's the one that said there's someone unconscious in there, and he knew right away what had happened.
Yeah, he knew.
But him and his girlfriend were being threatened, saying that they did it, and they had something to do with it, and they were being accused, and their family were getting death threats. So it's like anybody who was friends or even like in the picture with these 4, they were getting threatened.
Which is crazy.
Death threats are never okay.
No. But the weird thing, you bring up TikTok, and one of the things I found interesting is the police never really released they released the details about the 4 students, but they never released anything about how the investigation was going. Somebody had brought up that Kaylee thought she had a stalker, and they're like, no, we do think it was a targeted attack, but, and they weren't giving anything away until like one day we hear that Brian's getting arrested at his home in PA. But so one, they did a great job at kind of keeping it under wraps to not give away who they were looking at, but also like the things that they found, him driving by and him living close and his phone pinging and the knife and the DNA and getting pulled over twice and all that.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out until later that he kind of practically was giving himself away on Facebook.
In the Facebook group. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he was talking about it.
Well, like I even wrote down the one thing because like he was going by this name, which I don't know if they've confirmed that this was actually him or not. But come on, like the thing.
Did you see the picture of the account?
It looked like him, like an AI version of absolutely. Yes. So, but like the one thing that and nobody knew about anything other like a murder weapon or anything like that. I wrote down the one post he posted on that group. I'm just gonna read it because, like, how would you know, right? Like, So he and I quote, "Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath." Nobody knew about a sheath. Like, how did this guy post on Facebook before anybody even knew that was a thing?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they had released at that point was that they were looking for the white Elantra. That's it.
Yeah.
And they didn't say
nobody knew that there was a sheath found or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, and they never said that the weapon was a knife. They just said, how did they? It was like something like sharp
object,
sharp object causing wounds or something like that. They never said it was a knife, and
Now I know you mentioned like the cell phone pings too. Like, so once they got this guy, so they took the sheath and they started doing DNA on it. So the initial whatever they normally use for DNA didn't get any matches. The CODIS, yes, they didn't get any matches at all with that. So what they decided to do was take that and then run it through, say, like what people use for, their DNA backgrounds and stuff like that. Like what I've used. Yeah. And then they started narrowing things down through that. And they narrowed it down to, was it 4 people or something like that?
No, they actually, so the DNA that they were able to match is because the white Elantra that they were after, they noticed that Brian 4 days after the murder, re-registered his car. So in the images, it would have showed a Pennsylvania license plate. And now he had a Washington license plate. And they had an idea because of the cell phone pings. And he had, which was released today, he had driven past the house 12 times leading up to the murder.
12 times, yeah.
Yeah. But they actually, so they followed him and they took trash that he had put outside in the bin at his parents' house, and the DNA matched 99.99 blah 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 percent to his father.
Yeah, let's talk about how the
murderer was like
putting trash. He was wearing gloves, like the garbage
nitrile exam gloves.
He was putting garbage in the neighbor's garbage bins.
Like that's not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
And what about his cell phone pinging at the house at 9:20 the next morning?
The next morning, which makes you think that he was going back to get the sheath because he probably got back home and realized.
Well, they also say that it's like 95% of criminals always return to the crime of the scene.
Just to see,
yeah.
Well, yeah, once they started narrowing it down, they pulled his cell phone pings. And so this Kohlberger, he lived in the next town over. He was, a graduate student. He was teaching assistant, all this stuff in the next college over, which was
criminology.
I would say criminal justice and criminology.
20 minutes away. So on the night of the murder, there's a ping. He leaves his apartment 20 minutes away, and then there's no pings because he shuts his phone off or puts it in airplane mode. And then what was it, like 20 minutes after the murder, it pings south of Moscow, which is where, all this happened, on a route and going around. Like, it wouldn't have been like a normal, like, if you were going to go back home, you'd be going back the other way. He took a long way around.
Yeah, they said from his house to their house was literally a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
And the way that he took after that ping in the morning, that's 4:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was like an hour and 20-minute drive home. So they're like, there's no reason he should have taken that route.
Just because he was hauling ass to get out of there probably and didn't want to go back the other way.
Or he was trying to ping different towers to make an alibi for himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom, you're right. He was studying criminal justice and criminology. So you would think.
So, and you know, to this day, I don't really think a motive has been released, and they don't really know why.
I couldn't find one.
I was in that group that Nate was referencing when it was going on, and I remember seeing that post.
Really?
And reading all the comments on it. And like some of the working theories back then, when he eventually got captured, was that he was so intrigued by criminal justice that he thought he could do something like this, and he knew how to cover it up and get away with it without ever being found. And this was like his test to see if he could do it.
Oh, and they said that there was a murderer that he was like almost obsessed with, and that murderer like hated
Elliot
women.
Rodger.
Yes, he hated women, and like yes, yeah.
So
which leads
this would have been his ultimate thing, you know, like get away with it, kill 4 people and get away with it. Like
in that group, the Facebook group, his name was Papa Roger, and they said Roger because of Elliot Rodger. So it all ties back. And the word that came up a lot in the research was incel, which is like, you know, somebody that's attracted. It's mostly men that are attracted to women, but they don't think that they'll find anybody. There's like no desire for anybody to be with them. So they oftentimes become, you know, misogynistic, women haters, stuff like that.
Fixated on hurting.
Yep.
They did say that he was like kind of overweight in high school, and he was bullied. And between his junior and senior year, he lost like 100 and some pounds. And then once he lost the weight, they said that he became a bully and then became very arrogant. And I wonder if that's right around the time he found like, you know, all that stuff and kind of started. But you know what, though? I mean, not to be an a-hole, but if you're in criminology and squirrel, he also applied for an internship at Pullman Police Department.
Yep.
The same month that he committed those murders.
And it kind of makes you think, like, if he planned this for a while, if he had gotten that internship, if it was his way of maybe kind of steering the investigation in a different direction, or if he would have gotten rid of evidence,
that makes
that he may have accidentally left. Like,
makes me think of like the show Dexter, where he's in the police department and he's always covering shit up. That's kind of what maybe he was inspired by watching that and he was going to try to do something like that. I don't know.
And, you know, I at first wasn't convinced that he was like stalking them or that this was like this whole big diabolical plan because there was no like technical evidence of that. But again, once the gag order was lifted, then they could talk about it. And they said, and this is something I learned just before getting on with you guys, is Kaylee, who owned Murphy, the dog, the adorable golden doodle, who was in the house. But he was in Kaylee's room with the door shut, and she was in Maddie's room. So Kaylee had told her parents that when she was taking Murphy out at night, that she could see the silhouette of a man standing in the woods behind the house where that door is, and that the man would only watch her, and she would get nervous, and Murphy would do his thing, and she would bring him in, and it was like for a couple weeks, and then she came home one day. And the door was open, the sliding door was open, and Murphy was gone. And he was in the woods, and he had been out there for however long. And it happened like twice. Well, now people are saying that Brian was so methodical about it that he was the man standing in the woods getting the dog used to him. And then he opened the door, let the dog out, played with the dog, gave him treats so that when he finally decided to get into the house, the dog wouldn't bark because he knew who he was. Because he had made that relationship with the dog. Like, oh, you know, Murphy's like, that's the guy from the woods, you know, no need to bark. And I don't know if that's true, but if it is, the fact that he thought it out that methodically for that many weeks, there has to be some type of motive.
That goes along with his whole thing of, criminal justice and criminology and thinking like, I can get away with doing this because he would know exactly what to do and what not to do.
So do you guys think that it was that he was just, all about that Elliot guy and that he just wanted to commit this murder to see if he could get away with it? Or do you think it was a targeted attack on one of the girls?
Well, he was definitely obsessed with this person, I think. But he definitely knew he was going after. And I saw something today that, kind of made me think. So he is a vegan, which I learned today. And like he requested for jail, like just vegan food and whatnot. Maddie and the other girl that was with her both worked part-time at a restaurant that was a vegan restaurant. So they're trying to figure out Zaina. Yeah. And they're saying that, the trips he made to the town that pings, he was probably, they're not confirmed, but like it was in the area, like he was eating at this restaurant and maybe that's where he learned who they were, found them. Yeah. And that's how, maybe he targeted them that way. I don't know. I think he was just going to find anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew them per se, other than, seeing them in a restaurant, and then he probably followed them.
Well, and let's be honest, all of the girls were absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, 100%. Gorgeous girls. So you could be right. He could have probably gone in there, saw, these beautiful girls, young, might have followed them home, realized they lived together. But I asked that question because, again, today, with everything that's being released with the crime scene photos and the police reports and all that stuff is, and I sent you guys the video, is Kaylee, the one who was upstairs in bed with Maddie. So a lot of people thought that he originally was going after Maddie. But Kaylee, she had severe injuries to her face. And I started wondering, like, if you're just going to murder someone, at least my thought process would be like, quickest way to take them out, jugular, heart, lung, something that fatal quickly. But Kaylee had 28 stab wounds to her face. He broke her nose, her eye. He stabbed her in her eyeballs, her mouth, her teeth were broken, teeth were knocked out.
It was brutal.
And it was brutal. And so I wonder if it was a crime of passion. Like, did he want to be with her and she didn't want to be with him? Whatever. Was it a relationship made up in his head? Or did she hear him attacking Maddie? She came out and it was a fight, and that's what happened. Because Zaina had 50 stab wounds because she fought.
Yeah. I tend to think differently than it being targeted to specifically them. Not to say that he didn't visit those restaurants, because obviously he did. I think what it was more or less that house that they lived in was known as a party house and people coming and going. They, I guess from my understanding, from what I've read, is they didn't really have locked doors and people just kind of came and went. So I think he sought out individuals that he knew were at this house with easy access, where he knew he could get in and out. If it had been a house that had like a lock slide, because if you go through the sliding door, most people lock their sliding door, or as in my case, we have a sliding door. I have a bar in the thing, so if you tried to open it, you can't fit through. It's not opening. Unfortunately, this house was known for having people coming and going. So I just think not necessarily wrong place, wrong time, but he methodically planned this location and the people inside.
So then do you think the brutality of it is just lack of knowledge, a hurry, or the fact that he did not expect these two girls? Because I think Kaylee fought. I do. I truly believe with her injuries compared to Maddie, Ethan, and knowing that they have proof that Zainab fought, I feel like Kaylee fought too. Do you think it was like he went in expecting it to be easy, or he went in uneducated and that's why it was so much brutality to the face? Or do you think it was, these girls are beautiful, I could never have a girl that looks like this, let's destroy them?
I'm kind of torn on that part when thinking about it, because on one hand, part of me thinks that he maybe went in there thinking they were going to be asleep already, and it was going to be a quick kill them, get out of there. Finding them awake, I would imagine possibly threw off his plan. But on the other hand, part of me also thinks that he knew, if he had been watching them this closely and that house that closely, he knew they were out that evening. He knew what time they got home. He knew they probably most likely wouldn't have gone to bed right away. Because anytime you go out, a lot of people have time to wind down before, they fall asleep, unless you're so drunk that you black and pass out. My thought is when he got in there and they were awake, I think he just got enraged.
He freaked out.
And he freaked out. He got mad, and he just unfortunately brutalized.
And I do kind of think you're right with that, because again, like, there was no actual evidence. Like, he wasn't on their social medias, he wasn't commenting, he wasn't, none of that, and nobody really knew who he was. The thing that sucks, which I was thinking about this on my way to work today, knowing that we were covering this case, I'm like, the thing that sucks is this case happened 3 years ago, and he was arrested, I think you said, in January. So it was rather quick for most murders. And the family probably assumed that they would have their time to heal. And then the case is getting publicized. And then the trial is being publicized. And then the conviction happens. And now it's 3 years later, the conviction happened, the judge lifts the gag order, and now these documentaries and these episodes, they're flying at us so quickly that my heart broke for the girls and for Ethan. But like, thinking about these families, like 3 years later, now they have to relive it, and they're finding out information that they themselves were not told. Like, I think it was like a day or two ago, they did an interview where they literally just learned how badly she was injured. They didn't know about the stabs to her face. They didn't know he stabbed her in the eyes. They didn't know about her teeth. They didn't know about all that. They knew she was stabbed 38 times, but that was it. They didn't know the brutality of it. And the fact that the family has to start living this all over again 3 years later, like they're not even healed yet. And it's sad. And then I think the judge didn't handle it right. I think the judge that's a whole nother.
Let's kind of get into let's kind of get into that legal stuff, because that's a point of contention to a lot of people too. So he was arrested in December on December 30th of that year. So almost 2 months and a week. And he was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and then a felony count of burglary as well. The grand jury indicts him. They go through that process. The grand jury indicts him in May of that year, so he's still in jail in all this time. So the end of May, he refused to enter any kind of plea. He stood silent during that proceeding. So the judge typically in that situation puts in a not guilty plea for you if you're not going to say anything. And then a month later, they come out saying they're going to seek the death penalty for all the crimes on the nature of them. So this goes on. They start doing the jury proceedings. They start doing all this stuff. It doesn't actually make it to trial, because in June of this year, he takes a plea deal basically to get the death sentence taken off the thing, which I know Kaylee's parents were not happy with this. They wanted him to go to trial to get justice, and they wanted to see him put to death.
But do you know why? So my understanding is that you cannot come to an agreement without the approval of like the parents. Like I've had to go to court and they offered a deal to this person, but they could not offer that deal until I agreed. And for the parents all had to agree to take death off the table. And when they were presented with this, the parents did not have the information about the injuries. They knew that they had been stabbed. They knew that they were murdered. That was the extent of it. So they all agreed to take death off the table. And then they were told about the brutality of it, which I think is BS.
Yeah. The one girl's stepfather even said that the prosecutors were all cowards because they had a case made, like, and if they didn't, like you said, they didn't have all the details. Like if they would have known everything, absolutely go after this man.
Yeah, if somebody would have told me that someone stabbed my baby girl in the eyeballs, give me a baseball bat in 10 minutes.
Kill that mother.
I'll do it. Put me in jail afterward. Like I don't think it was fair for the parents to have to make that decision without all of the details. And then the fact, did you hear what the judge did?
No.
So Kaylee's dad was kind of fighting for the death penalty. He was talking to the media. He was talking about how these kids deserved more. And the judge literally told him, word for word, shut your mouth. Talking to the media is not going to bring your daughter back.
I didn't hear that one.
It was over Zoom it was like a Zoom. Thank God, because if somebody would have said that to me, like over your kid,
you'd be putting me in jail too. Yeah.
Yes. Like, how do you say that to a grieving parent? Like that judge should be, I don't know what you can do to a judge, but they should have it done.
You could try to impeach him, I believe. But
I mean, have some sympathy for these parents. They're dealing with the grieving process. They're dealing with their children being murdered and buried. They're dealing with the media constantly in their faces. They're dealing with people texting them, calling them. They're dealing with a lot, and then to tell them to shut their mouth.
Yeah.
I'd have been like,
I will say though, I understand that that was their kids that were murdered, and I get wanting the death penalty, but I think him rotting in jail is so much better.
Did you hear what he's asking for now?
No.
So he put in a request to be transferred because the inmates are taunting him through the vents, and it's disturbing him.
No, let him.
I said, I can't wait till they taunt you in the shower. Like, good luck with that.
That's what the one girl's father said during his sentencing hearing. Like, he's like, I hope you get the justice you deserve in prison. Somebody will get you. Yada yada.
I think that would be far worse.
I was gonna say something so inappropriate.
So I just want to point out too, part of the plea deal is that he's not allowed to appeal anything. And he's going to be in jail the rest of his life because, like, just this was just over a month ago. July 23rd is when like the sentencing happened, and he's in there for 4 life sentences for murder, and then another 10 years for the burglary charge too. Which I don't know what he actually stole there, but
nothing. I think it's isn't that a form of like breaking and entering?
Breaking and entering. Okay,
yeah.
I think you're right there. Yeah.
Apparently
he has to pay back a whole lot of money too, but I don't know how you're really going to pay any money back to people. But
I don't know.
That's more of just like a look. Here you go. Like, yeah, the principle of it. Yeah, here's the money for your, the people you killed. What's that going to do?
I mean, any assets you did have, they'll take and seize.
They'll liquidate everything. Yeah.
I will say, one of the things at the trial that made me kind of like, I was like, FNA, yeah, is the sister. Did you hear her, what's it called, a victim statement or something like that, where the family gets to speak?
Yeah.
You will have to Google it. She, very classy, rips him apart. Yeah, she's not like, you FNA, like none of that. She's like, you know what? You're not as important as you think you are. You think that you're this big tough guy because somebody said your name. You're dirty. You're this. You're that. You're nobody. I see through you. Oh, she ripped him apart, and I'm like, yes,
it was great.
Get it. It was, and she did it like you said, so like elegant. But
yeah, she chose her words very well. Which I mean, I can't put myself in that situation. Like, what do you do in that? You're looking at your little sister's like murderer in his face. Like, what do you say? Like,
right. Well, and the way she did it, I think, affected him more than somebody who would have got up there and yelled at him and said he was a POS and all that.
That's what the stepfather did. He said he ended as he walked away. He's like, "I hope you burn in hell." Like, I'm like, get it.
Do you really think it affected him?
No,
I do, because I feel like people like that, especially since he was bullied in high school. I think there is a slight want to be accepted. I think. You know, especially if he felt like he could never have these girls or whatever. I think it's just human nature to have that little want of acceptance, but also, you know, he thought that he could get away with this. And for her to say, you're messy, you're clumsy, you're nobody. And, you know, and he was walking around all arrogant. And like, I think she hit him in his insecurities.
Yeah.
Where if somebody got up there and was just like, you're a POS, you did this, you did that, like, they're not going to care. But she hit him and she dug the, okay, that's a bad analogy. She poked the right buttons. You knew where I was going with that. That's a bad analogy.
I want to believe that she did, but part of me thinks that he's just so sick and twisted that he just didn't care. You know, at the end of the day, and he got what he wanted. He killed 4 people.
Well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to say it. If we get this episode taken off, I hope that he meets Bubba in the shower and Bubba destroys him. Destroys him.
I think there's a good chance that happens. Yeah, there's a good chance it happens. One, because
I want him, like, I don't even know these people. I want him to feel the pain, all of it that these poor kids had to go through. The suffering. I want his life to just be hell.
And I hope it is.
I do too.
Well, I'm sure it is. I mean,
I'm sure. Well, you were already talking, but he wants to transfer because they're taunting him.
Through the vents.
Wait till that taunting becomes physical.
Right. If you think that's the worst that's going to happen in prison, especially like, you know, in prison, and it's good. I mean, it's prison. It's not like a county jail.
No.
They do not handle violence against children very well.
No.
Those people normally don't.
Yeah, I mean,
let's talk about the house real quick too, because I know that was another thing that the parents were kind of split over. The house was donated to the university there, and then eventually, like before the trial even happened, they tore it down. Which
they demolished it.
Some of the family was quite upset because like, what if you needed to go back there to see the stuff? But one of the things that really stuck out with me, and like I said, I recommend the Amazon Prime documentary. Ethan, the boyfriend that was murdered in the house, he was a triplet. And his brother, they interviewed him on that. And he talked about having to wake up every morning, look out his window and see the house where his brother was murdered. And he was happy to see it gone.
Yeah.
That, like, can you imagine being him having to look out and still go to college there, still go to school there? And
at the same time, I don't know what else after he's convicted on that, what else would they have to go back in there for? So
I think some of the belongings, I don't think the parents got all the belongings. I know they got some stuff, but I don't think they got.
But do you want it back? Imagine the blood that's probably all over that. Do you really want it back? I mean, yes, I understand that there's probably some sentimental value there, but at that point, that's not going to come out. Like,
well, and you know, as a parent, I think if I was in that situation, I would want it tore down too, because, you know, in the field that we're in the paranormal, for murders, paranormal investigators, crime junkies, enthusiasts. I mean, these people are going, I don't want to say make a mockery of it, but they're going to want to go to the house. They're going to want to look. And then you're never truly going to be able to find peace because this house is always going.
It's going to be a beacon for that stuff. Yeah.
Just know someone would pull out a spirit box.
Look at. It makes you think of. Obviously, we do the paranormal stuff. Look at some of the bigger name places. You got Lizzie Borden's house where she killed her parents, allegedly.
The
axe murder. We just talked about that the other day. Like, they're still to this day now. That's a big hotbed for paranormal people. So it puts into perspective though, hearing it from the brother that he had to wake up and see that house every day. Tear that thing down. Like that's just a stain on that community. And at that point,
how do you move on with your life if you have to wake up every morning and see that?
You don't. I'd feel sick to my stomach looking out my window every morning seeing it.
Right?
Yep. Well, and then the fear of if anybody moves into it, is there going to be a copycat? Because that's something I think about, especially since the Saw movies came out. I'm like, there's so many people that are copycats now. Like, is it going to happen again?
Yeah.
But then also, did you guys hear that there are women that are like writing to Brian in prison?
No,
like,
it always happens.
Talking about they're obsessed with him, and it's like
messed up people.
There are, and those people would probably show up at the house, So.
Oh yeah, 100%. So my question is, by definition, he would be labeled a serial killer.
Yes.
But do we actually believe him to be one?
He, by definition, because he killed more than 3 people, he is a serial killer. You're correct.
Yeah. But I don't feel like he is.
That's a good question.
I know. Right? I mean,
because I don't think he intended to kill all 4.
No.
I really do think Xana and Ethan were just wrong place, wrong time. She came. I think my kid just fell. She came out. She caught him, and I think that's how that happened.
Yeah.
I think if he would have got away with it, he would have tried again. Because again, with the
that's where I kind of
I feel like if he would have got away with it, that he would have done it again. Because I think having the power to take someone's life stroked his ego.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting though is when it comes to serial killers, as we all know, there's usually telltale signs as they progress from. Usually starting with animals or things like that.
I hope you're going. One of the things I wrote down here.
Moving up, I don't see, and I've not seen anything regarding him about any type of criminal record or hurting anybody else or hurting animals or anything like that. And for him to, hey, kid with no shirt.
Sorry, he's going to bed, so I wanted to give him a hug.
And for him to just like out of the blue, what is essentially to everyone, to all of us, is out of the blue murder 4 people without any type of warning, as you would think, is kind of mind blowing.
But how long was he planning it and just looking for the right victims that we don't know about? Because he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't. Like you guys said earlier, he hasn't given a motive or a reason or any of that. So he could have been planning this for months or years. And unfortunately, this was just what he considered his prime opportunity.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to bring up, because we didn't talk about it. So like part of his like being, teaching assistant and like all this stuff and doing research. Did you see like the thing he sent out? So a bunch of like these people that murdered people,
the survey,
the survey he sent them, asking them, how did you feel when you killed these people? What did you do? Like yada yada. Like
that might have been like the only sign.
Yeah.
But even then, it's really, considering what his major was, it's not out of the ordinary.
It's not out of the ordinary, but
it's not.
But the question, like even some of the professors they interviewed for the documentary I watched, they're like, it's not typical to ask those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
No, but
now,
like
in his defense, like Yeah, like in his defense, I would probably
they're good questions. Yeah,
if I got the chance to talk to someone like Dahmer or Manson, or like I would probably ask those same questions. Like, how did it make you feel? Why did you think this was a good idea? Like, I would ask those questions.
Keep an eye on Ashley.
No.
FBI, watch this.
No, the funny thing is,
we're to Madison on
not to jump ship, but I have had this conversation with my coworkers because I took in. Oh, I don't have it. I have this like little cup, and it has like caution tape on it, and it says like, you know, roses are red, ultraviolet light's blue. I watch enough crime shows, they'll never find you. And we were laughing, and I was like, well, no, like we do a true crime show. And I was like, if something ever happened to my husband, I am screwed because my Google searches, my browser history, like because of what we do. How did this
person get murdered?
I do. Like, I mean, I was watching a documentary on, like my dad said, for years I've been Googling this stuff. And there was a documentary where this nurse had like murdered her husband by injecting insulin. And I was like, where would you inject insulin so it's not, you know, traceable in the human body? And that's when I was like, if something ever happens to him, I'm screwed. Because they always check the browser history. Always.
Where's Brian right now?
He's bowling.
Allegedly.
He's allegedly. No, but I was like, can you imagine? Like, I'd get pulled in. I would be ugly crying because it's my husband. I'm like, I swear, I have a true crime podcast with my friends. I swear.
I swear.
Like, yeah, sure. But no, Tom, I'm glad you brought up Madison. Since we're kind of coming to our time.
Yeah, now I feel like we're going to get murdered.
Why don't you tell her?
I'm joking.
I wouldn't tell it on the air.
That'd be a great place to hide our bodies.
At Madison.
Have you been there yet? A lot of hidden areas that no one knows about.
Have you been to Madison?
I have not, no.
Have you, Nate?
Nope.
I'm so excited. And I don't know if Ryan and Emily have been there yet either, but so next weekend we're going to Madison. We are collabing with Paranormal Theory, which I am so excited about. Ryan is awesome, and I can't wait to finally meet Emily. I think it's going to be great. Especially since you guys this is probably my 5th time, maybe 6th time. I've been to Madison quite a bit.
Had some close, right? Activities for us too. I remember that he had some fun activities for us as well. I remember seeing that in the group chat.
Yeah, so you guys will have to watch. So we're doing a collab with Paranormal Theory, but at that same time, like Paranormal Theory will have their episode. We will have our episode, and then like they're gonna kind of combine. Yeah, they're gonna cross. So you're gonna see us and theirs and them and us.
Kind of like, you know, Arrow and the Flash did a crossover, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
The multiverse.
But Ryan told me that he is planning some, how did he put it? I think he said like extra spooky something for me and Emily. And I was like, oh, great. And he said that she's a screamer. So I'm like, great. I'm going to be laughing. She's going to be screaming. And we're probably both going to be running. So
I'm probably going to strap a GoPro to you.
That's fine. I'm excited. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited. No, we are not sleeping there.
We are not.
So
no. We're going to
be allowed to sleep there, right? I don't think.
No, they do not allow overnights, like full overnights at Madison, just like fire safety and things like that. So
yeah, I think we have it to 3 a.m.
Yep. Yep. So we'll be there. But yeah, and then all the fun stuff that the guys have been working on is the new intro, which you guys saw, the trailers, which we've been posting left and right for you guys all to see. I will say the first episode is done.
Just about.
Just okay. A few.
It's in its final stage. We just got to do the color on it, but just that'll be done.
Which means I'm production.
That just means I'm gonna get screenshots of the funny faces I make during filming. But
most likely, yes.
That means we should have an episode released for you guys in a few weeks.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna say at least before Rock Island.
That's our hope. We want to have something to promote while we're there.
Yeah,
that's only a month away. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work.
We can do it. You
can
do it.
I have faith in you guys. I will be actually probably starting tomorrow. Evidence review for you guys. So, but yes, we'll have an episode.
We've done 3 so far, so
yes, we have. So Madison will be our 4th, and then
attic. By the way,
huh?
Tell your dad no sleeping in an attic.
Oh,
I'm okay without that.
So then the other good thing, we have merch.
We do have merch.
We have merch, and our website. Well, I can't say website. Our online store is being built. So,
is there a status update on that online store?
Yes, I just looked at the proof. Is that the right word? The proof of it.
Sure, yeah, we'll call it that.
Sent back a couple suggestions and edits, and after that, we are ready to roll. So we'll have a website for you guys to order shirts, hoodies, hats, all the fun things. So we'll have that up and running before Rock Island too, and then in October we'll be at Rock Island. We're meeting Annabelle. We're going to be.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
listen, all my people at work, they're worried for my life because I'm going to see Annabelle.
Well, and you know the funny thing is, it's sold out now. It's sold out.
Is it?
I'm talking Saturday meeting Annabelle.
Yeah.
It's sold out.
Yeah.
But they have a lot more options. They have a lot more of the museum coming too. And
it's not
everyone
just Annabelle,
everyone is scared for me. They keep telling me to see a priest afterwards.
I told them all, she's on the move again this weekend. If anything weird happens this weekend, maybe we won't go see her. I don't know.
I said I'm going to meet her. If I don't come back, you know she got me.
She's in Maine for the next couple days for a convention out there. I said, give it a chance. If anything weird happens there, maybe we'll reconsider.
Listen, my faith is strong. I ain't got no issues. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
If something bad happens, I might be a little bit worried.
No, but you all know about the other haunted doll we have to go see, right?
Robert.
Yeah,
from Key West, right?
Ashley doesn't know about Robert?
Look up Robert.
I don't know about Robert.
Look up Robert the doll. He's in Florida.
I know about Robert the doll, but you guys are meeting him?
No, I said that's no doll we have to go meet.
Oh, yeah.
Like a trip. You know.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect segue too. Zach's in the chat.
Hey,
Zach is going to be our guest next week.
He is our guest next week.
Ashley won't be here, but me, Tom, and
it's a guys' night.
We'll talk all about Wildwood and all the stuff Zach's been up to.
Fun things that happen in Wildwood. And
I love Wildwood.
I
love it.
Wildwood.
Life in general.
Yeah,
we're gonna get very deep on that show.
Awesome. I'll have to watch. I know I'll be traveling because I'm.
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm traveling 2 hours to go get my tattoo done.
She's missing our show to get a tattoo done.
Well, technically the tattoo is on Friday, but I have to drive there Thursday night because we have.
Not even to get a tattoo. She's leaving us to drive.
I am, because the entire Friday is ours for the tattoo. So I'll have it at Madison. I'll get to show you guys. So don't grab my arm if you get scared.
So what you're saying is we could slap her arm and
it'll hurt.
My fist does not look that big on camera.
It doesn't look that big in real life either. Don't worry.
Karate chop you in the throat if you slap my arm. Anyway, yes, you guys will be talking Wildwood.
A lot of crazy experiences at Wildwood recently. Can't wait to hear about those.
Oh, that's exciting.
We'll have to go back there and, get a normal episode done there.
Not for the other thing that we
not did. For the other thing, but for our own.
We don't talk about it anymore, yeah.
Momentary lapse of judgment.
Oh, yeah. We're better now.
She don't go here no more, okay?
What?
She don't go here no more, right?
You can't sit with us.
That's right.
We're such a-holes anyway. Anyway, guys. We're done, I think, tonight. We're starting to take the weird turns. Off. We're starting to get slap happy now. But yeah, stay tuned or come back next week. They're gonna have Zach on. They're gonna talk Wildwood. I will miss you guys, but I'll be driving. It'll be fun. We may go live from Madison, depending. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. And
I feel like we should put a poll up on our Facebook to ask people if they want us to go live.
I think we should put a poll up asking where in Madison should Tom do a solo.
I like that.
And then get a couple options. Yes.
No,
perfect. Let's do
it. It is decided.
This has just backfired really badly here.
No. Anybody watching yes. Let's do a poll on where Tom does a solo at Madison. GoPro and all. And then Nate and I figured out how we can stream it live.
We'll figure it out. We'll get it all set.
No. Is there a room with snacks? I will go live from the room with snacks. How about that? All the candy, just a room full of candy.
I love it. But I hope all you guys have a great night. The boys will be back next week with a guys' night. And other than that, stay tuned for our merch. And we love you. Zach, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Everybody.
Oh, there you go. Mine's just boring.
Ours, but you know.
Good night.
Underworld Culture Convention. It's to die for.